In today's episode, we have some very peculiar and unexplainable photos that have sparked a ton of intrigue and controversy over the years, piquing the interest of millions across the internet. So let's take a look at them now. Number 10. Andrew Basiago's Gettysburg Address photo. Andrew Basiago, the son of a senior government official in top-secret intelligence programs, claims to have participated in a top-secret DARPA project called Project Pegasus in the 1960s when he was just 6 years old. He claims to have traveled through a wormhole portal to see the Gettysburg Address on November 19, 1863. He is the youngster standing center-left in the picture. As Basiago has said, "I am the boy standing in the image's foreground at center-left, looking to his right." It shows a young boy's destination trip from the plasma confinement chamber at the Time Lab in East Hanover, NG, in 1972, all the way to Gettysburg, PA, on the day that Abraham Lincoln gave his famous address there in 1863, he claims. He alleges his shoes were misplaced when traveling through the quantum PLENUM. He details the trip through the wormhole, including how it was so intense that his socks and shoes flew off. He claims a Union soldier saw him walking around without socks or shoes when he arrived and took him to a nearby supply barracks to get some. The boots had to be packed to prevent his feet from flopping because they were so big and intended to be worn by soldiers. He claims to be wearing them in the picture. Basiago is on record discussing how two different types of time travel are utilized for different purposes. The first involves physically sending someone into the past to influence a future occurrence. The second is what he refers to as chronovision, which is the capacity to produce a hologram that essentially serves as a looking glass to gather information about a specific location. Of course, Basiago has further wild claims to share, asserting that Barack Obama visited Mars in the 1980s using the same technology. He also unsuccessfully ran for president in 2016, claiming that if he won, he would tell the world about the technology to save the universe. Number 9. The Hook Island Sea Monster. In a tale resembling the Loch Ness Monster legend, in Stonehaven Bay, Queensland, comes the story of a gigantic sea monster. When they were out on a boat in December 1964, a woman on the water with her family spotted a massive aquatic animal that looked like a gigantic tadpole swimming nearby. She adds that it was more significant than initially believed after closer examination, measuring 75 to 80 feet. The family had just bought a motorboat and had decided to stay on the island for a while. On December 12, they were traveling across Stonehaven Bay in their motorboat when Robert's wife spotted an odd thing at the lagoon's bottom when they were on the boat. How peculiar! It was enormous, 30 feet long, and resembled a tadpole. When the family began taking pictures, Robert Lesurec's first mate eventually mustered the guts to go into the sea to film the creature. They initially thought the 75 to 80-foot monster was dead, but they were mistaken. The serpent opened its mouth and began to move toward them as Lesurec drew near and started recording. They made their way back to the shelter of their boat, terrified out of their minds. The beast had disappeared by the time they returned for another look. Lesurec and those on board also saw a wound on the creature's right side. Later, they deduced that the animal might have been hurt by a ship's propeller in open or more profound water and had chosen to seek sanctuary in the lagoon's shallow waters to heal. Lesurec also mentioned the fish having eyes on the top of its head, which many debunkers point out is unusual for most fish. The eyes had slit-shaped pupils and were pallid. Its color was primarily black with transverse stripes. Its body had no fins or spines, and its skin appeared exceptionally smooth. There was no mention of teeth. An image from the above Scientific American article is shown below. Number 8. The Madonna with Saint Giovannino. The Madonna with Saint Giovannino depicts the Madonna with the infant Jesus and Saint John. In the background is a man with his hand held up to his face as if shielding his eyes from a bright light. By his side is a dog with its mouth slightly open. The man and dog are looking up at something in the sky. The object is a dark oval structure with light rays projecting from all angles resembling a UFO. The unidentified flying object resembles a lead-colored disc tilted to the left and has a turret dome highly reminiscent of depictions of extraterrestrial spaceships seen in traditional science fiction. Many have questioned why the artist included a flying object in a painting with spiritual elements, potentially indicating we have known the existence of extraterrestrial life vising us for centuries. Art historians argue that the flying saucer is an angel that resembles a brilliant cloud. Due to the combination of religious and otherworldly undertones, the debate on this one will likely continue. Number 7. The BELMEZ faces. The Pereira family started experiencing unusual human-like faces that mysteriously arrived and vanished in their home on August 23, 1971, at Cali Real 5, Belmes de la Moraleda, Jaén, Andalusia, Spain. Visitors and interested locals have frequently taken pictures of various faces. The times and places where the faces have appeared have been erratic. When Maria tried to remove the stain, her husband Juan Pereira and their son Miguel smashed the image with a pickaxe and replaced it with fresh concrete. But after a few days, a new face appeared on the ground. Additionally, scientists intervened to confirm their integrity and determine whether they were genuine paintings or some other chemical created by Maria. A notary oversaw the kitchen's closure, and 3 months later, when they left without receiving any responses, the faces were still visible. No concrete proof could identify the cause of how the faces were emerging, ruling out the painting's explanation. Many people in Belmez think human hands were used to create these faces. Some researchers claim that the thoughtographic phenomenon, which parapsychologists classify as a type of psychokinesis, was unintentionally created by the home's former owner, Mara Gomez Camara, who is now deceased. By Easter 1972, dozens of people had gathered at the house to witness the faces. The Pereira family asserted that for the following 30 years, faces of both sexes and various facial features and attitudes continued to manifest. They kept appearing without explanation, despite the floor being redone numerous times and the faces being washed with soap. Another hypothesis was that the home was probably built on the site of an old graveyard because it was so close to a church. After the floor was excavated entirely, several human bones were discovered. Many corpses were missing their skulls, and the victims were reburied at a Catholic cemetery nearby. According to some recent claims, the excavated remains are roughly 700 years old. This supports the argument that the faces are old souls showing themselves in human form. Number 6. The Solway Firth Spaceman. Jim Templeton's interesting and well-known photo of the Solway Firth Spaceman was captured in 1964. The image shows Templeton's daughter Elizabeth and a person standing behind her who looks to be wearing a white spacesuit. The picture was taken in England's Cumbria region on Burgh Marsh, close to Solway Firth. Templeton asserted that there were no other people there when the picture was taken and that he was unaware of the figure at the time. At first, he thought the figure might have been a person unintentionally caught in the backdrop of the photograph. When Templeton sent the picture to a nearby newspaper, it attracted interest. UFO specialists eventually became interested in it and hypothesized that it might have been an abnormality or an extraterrestrial entity. Conspiracy theories and speculations concerning unidentified flying objects, UFOs, have been centered on the image. However, more skeptical study and research has argued that the figure in the picture might be the product of double exposure. Elizabeth and another person or item were captured in the film simultaneously, giving the impression of a mysterious figure. Jim Templeton insisted that the image authentically represented what he saw that day and had not altered it. Number 5. The Mike Tyson Time Traveler. After serving 4 years in prison for his first highly anticipated fight back on August 19, 1995, a character out of place in the audience can be seen clutching a recording device precisely like a contemporary one during the Mike Tyson vs. Peter McNeely fight. The only issue was that since such a technology did not exist in 1995, conspiracy theorists worldwide questioned whether or not a time traveler was present to witness his return match. According to the tale, a man carrying future technology appeared in the crowd to watch Tyson's return to battle. Deep research was conducted for every possible early digital camera at that time. Although a few resemble it closely, no such device was a direct match. The story has been shared across the internet, causing quite a debate. On a recent podcast, Mike Tyson was asked if he knew about it, and indeed he had been told about it, but commented that he had never noticed such an individual during the fight. Time traveler or an ordinary person of that time with advanced recording equipment? You decide. Number 4. The time-traveling hipster. Since 2010, a picture of a man in casual clothing has gone viral online, showing him looking much more contemporary than his 1940s counterparts. It has generated much online discussion about how it is possible to look so different at a time when it was uncommon. Although not frequently worn, all of the items he wore, according to skeptics, were still in fashion in the 1940s. After it debuted in 2010, analysis of the picture is supposed to have proven it was real. What do you think of this one? Time-traveling hipster, or just a rare nonconformist of that era? Number 3. The NAGA fireballs. The NAGA fireballs are a natural occurrence that predominantly impacts Thailand and Laos around the Mekong River in Southeast Asia. These fireballs are enigmatic light orbs that seem to erupt from the river, move through the air, frequently in a straight line, then vanish. The occurrence typically takes place in October after Buddhist Lent. For many years, there has been intrigue with and conjecture about the NAGA fireballs. The NAGA are fabled serpent-like monsters from Hindu and Buddhist cosmology, and the locals think the fireballs are manifestations of the NAGA. Local legend holds that they produce these fireballs as the NAGA emerge from the river's depths. Professionals and scientists have proposed numerous theories to explain the NAGA fireball phenomenon. One commonly accepted explanation holds that fireballs are caused by burning flammable gases released from the river, such as methane. When these gases reach the surface, they ignite when they touch the air's oxygen, producing the luminous orbs that onlookers see. Although the most widely recognized scientific explanation for the phenomenon is that it is caused by methane gas, some locals and believers still believe that supernatural or spiritual forces cause it. Every year, many people assemble along the riverbanks to watch the NAGA fireballs, which have become a popular cultural and tourism attraction in the area. The NAGA fireballs continue to be a compelling and intriguing spectacle that has captivated people's imagination for decades, whether perceived as a natural occurrence or a magical event. Number 2. The Cooper family photo. The Cooper family photo is a spooky and well-known photograph that surfaced during debates about the paranormal and occult. Due to its unique and unpleasant nature, it attracted notice. The family portrait in the 1959 image appears to be an everyday one until you look to the left of the photograph, whereby a semi-transparent figure resembling a hanging body appears from the ceiling in the background. The picture was purportedly shot shortly after the Cooper family had moved into their new house. They asserted that they did not notice anything remarkable when shooting the image and learned about the bizarre figure only after the picture had been developed. The Cooper family stated that they had not altered the image in any way and had been taken aback by the sinister appearance. The image inspired several theories and discussions. According to skeptics, the figure could result from double exposure or a photographic error. Others gave the image a more supernatural interpretation, saying it might represent a ghostly presence or haunting phenomena. Like many other paranormal images, the Cooper family photo was extensively disseminated and entered popular culture, sparking intense debates regarding its integrity and significance. The narrative and pictures are still being discussed online in forums devoted to paranormal and unexplained occurrences, which enhances the image's fascination for mystery. Number 1. The Ghost of Boot Hill Cemetery. The Boot Hill Graveyard in Tombstone, Arizona is home to the fabled ghost of Boot Hill Cemetery, an old cemetery that became well known during the Wild West era of the late 1800s. It is the final resting place for many who perished in gunfights, accidents, illnesses, and other incidents during that turbulent time. According to local mythology and numerous stories, visitors to Boot Hill Cemetery have reportedly encountered ghostly apparitions and experienced paranormal events. William Billy Clanton, a participant in the famed gunfight at the OK Corral in 1881 and brother of Ike Clanton, as depicted in the movie Tombstone, is supposed to be the most well-known ghost frequently connected to the cemetery. According to legend, Billy Clanton's ghost can occasionally be seen walking the cemetery grounds and occasionally even close to his grave. Witnesses assert that a transparent figure clothed in historical garb resembled Clanton as seen in antique pictures. While wandering the cemetery, some tourists have claimed to experience chilly areas, hear odd noises, or feel an unsettling presence.